Hey guys, welcome back to HoTThang. I hope and pray that you all are doing well. We're getting ready to smoke us some ribs, but not just smoke ribs. We're going to take them up another notch. We're making some smoked ribs, boneless bites. I have two packages of 3 slabs in each package of ribs. These baby backs are very meaty. I'm putting them in the sink to just wash off of some of that excess blood. Just a reminder, whenever you're working with any meats, you want to exercise caution by making sure your areas are clean and just sanitized. So I'm just rinsing them off, just making sure that any of that excess blood is just rinsed away. And what I want to do after rinsing these, I'm going to show you here in a few seconds. I want to start to just take some of that excess. You have that excess meat on your ribs, and I'm getting ready to show you right here what we're going to be doing to trim these ribs. You see this end right here, it's not really connected to the ribs, so we're going to get rid of that. We're going to square the ribs up, and that's really for presentation purposes, because that meat by itself may cook too dry for the length of time that these ribs will be on the smoker. But you just want to clean them up a little bit, just so it won't look as messy when you cook them. I'm just going to speed this up because I have 6 slabs, and trust me, man, this is a whole lot of work. It is a whole lot of work. But whenever you're cooking these ribs are so tender, man, that if you do them low and slow, I'm almost willing to guarantee you won't mess them up. You won't mess them up. So after really taking my time and trimming all these meats, and now the excess I'm not going to get rid of. I'm going to use that. And right now I'm going to show you one of the end product of trimming them, and that's my wife. She's coming in just to wash her hands. My wife of 28 years. That's my boo. So look at these ribs. See how clean they are now and how square they are? They will cook a lot better. So now what you want to do, some people remove the membrane, some people choose not to remove the membrane. I'm just taking it off. You do whatever you choose. I just believe that if the membrane is not on there, that some of that seasoning that you put on the back will be able to penetrate the meat much better. See how easily it comes off with the use of the paper towel. After I remove the membrane, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to season my ribs up. And when I season my ribs, I started looking at it and I said, well, man, I need to season the bottom first, because whenever you turn the ribs over, sometimes the seasoning will fall off the top of the ribs. So I would much rather have it fall off the bottom than off of the top on the meaty side. And the mixture that's in this particular shaker, it's in the description. It's the 1-2-3 method, 1-2-3 rub that my wife put together. Check out the description for actually what's in there. And then I'm using some Everglades cactus dust just for another layer of flavor. That's Everglades cactus dust right there. So just season your ribs up, and after you season your ribs up, what I normally do is I go through this whole seasoning process even before I light my grill, because after I season the ribs, I'm going to let them sit for a little while. I'm going to let them sit while the grill comes up to temperature, and that way it gives the seasoning time to penetrate the meat. So like I said, as you can see, I have 6 slabs. See on the meat tray where the ribs, in that corner is all of that extra meat that I cut off when I was trimming the ribs. I'm actually going to season that up and add them and put them on the grill separately. As I stated before, the time of cooking will be different for them because they are so much thinner. So just speeding it up, showing you that seasoning these ribs will guarantee the taste and the layers of flavor that you're looking for. This is my first time actually doing this many ribs at one time, because I don't do this for business. I do this as a recreation, and my sister, she enjoys my smoking and my grilling so much. She asked me would I do it for her birthday, and of course, look at those ribs. They're ready. Now I've started up my Pit Boss 700, and this is the initial smoke. Anybody that knows the Pit Boss, it gives off that initial smoke. And then what happens is then you close your lid down and turn it up to temp. But man, I like that smoke. I used a cherry blend with hickory, with a mixture of hickory. This is after the first hour and a half or so of smoking. With ribs, being that I don't have a water pan, they can dry out. So I even spritz them. You see those pieces that I had up in that corner? So after three hours of cooking, guys, now I want to wrap the ribs. This is very important. You see I have honey, I have parquet, I have some light brown sugar and some more cactus dust. Just lay your brown sugar on the aluminum foil, because what I'm going to do is just wrap each rib individually in its own little package. That way these ribs can become so tender, because you'll see later that I want to be able to take these bones out very easily without tearing up the meat. And don't be scared to be generous with the parquet. If you don't like to use a lot of butter, that's fine. I've even seen some people put some apple cider vinegar, some apple juice in this foil, and you notice I'm doing it meat down, because I want the meat to absorb that extra sugar, that extra layer of seasoning, and that honey, because that meat will be so tender. And you just want to wrap each one up in its own package. That way, you can check it out individually. You don't have to worry about exposing all of them. And you just want to wrap it and make sure you have full coverage, because this thing will produce so much fluid. It's just juicy tenderness. Let's just leave it like that. It will have so much juicy tenderness. And as you can see, I've done all but this one. And it seems like it's a whole lot of aluminum foil, but aluminum foil is not that expensive. And plus, if you enjoy cooking, man, you're going to have to spend some money on something. So, and I'm being very meticulous here. I see the cactus dust, putting that down, and trust me, it's not over seasoning these ribs. These ribs will turn out just perfect. I enjoy doing these videos because, and actually the person I'm cooking these for, she actually encouraged me to start doing the videos. So that's the total 6 ribs. Now they're back on the grill. I'm going to leave them on the grill for an hour. This is the results of leaving them out there. This is after I pulled the bones out. I feel kind of bad because I didn't show you guys me pulling the bones out, but look at those boneless rib bites. And I actually had two different flavors. I had honey garlic, and then I just had barbecue, all for my sister. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching the video. Feel free to subscribe.